Well, this man might have the answer. He's Dave Coplin, the Chief Envisioning Officer for Microsoft in the UK. Dave, my first question, what is a Chief Envisioning Officer? What do you do?
Well, my job is essentially about focusing on the human beings that use the technology. So much of what we do in the industry looks about the technology itself and the products, but we don't spend enough time thinking about that thing that my dad calls the interface between the keyboard and the chair. And if we think more about the human beings and we understand more about what they're going to do, how they're going to live, work and play, we can be more thoughtful about the technology they're going to need.
Now, some fantastic statistics have been published as a result of this conference. 10,000 emails a year is what we send and receive. Clearly, that's not a productive use of technology.
No, absolutely. And we've done some studies recently that show the problem's actually even worse in our perception to technology. So, for example, our studies showed that 77% of the UK workforce think that a productive day in the office is clearing their inbox, just doing email.
Now, the purpose of this conference, of course, is looking at what the future workplace will look like and how we use technology. Just paint a picture for us, 5, 10, 15 years down the line, how will we be all working?
Well, the interesting thing about this conference is it's not just about the technology, but it's about the work environment, the place, the facilities, but also about the culture of work. And I think in the future, we're going to be afforded a lot more empowerment as individuals, as employees, to choose the most appropriate location for us to work, to collaborate in an entirely different way. We're used to sort of sharing knowledge within teams and within organisations, but that's quite different to how we share knowledge outside of work on social media. If we take some of those principles and bring them inside the organisation, it actually really changes the way the organisation works for the better. It creates a more agile, a more engaging workplace.
Now, I think a common complaint amongst employees is always that technology takes over. Everything is now done online. You have to book meeting rooms, you have to fill in forms online just to do things that traditionally you might have done face-to-face. I mean, is there an element of simply putting technology in its place? It's a good thing, but it can't take over.
Yeah, absolutely. We talk about this philosophy, if you like, of helping people live up to the potential of technology rather than to be constrained by it. Technology increasingly in our working lives has become a prison rather than the liberating force that we hope for. But it really is down to the individuals. When you're given the technology, just because you have access to video conferencing, for example, doesn't mean that you should only ever do video conferences. It's about trying to find a way that works best for you.
OK, Dave, really good to talk to you. Interesting stuff. That's Dave Coplin, the Chief Envisioning Officer for Microsoft here in the UK. It's a hard one to say.